Unit 4, Lesson 3, Revisiting Proportional Relationships. So I can use a table with 2 rows and 2 columns to find an unknown value in a proportional relationship. And when there is a constant rate, I can identify the 2 quantities that are not in the proportional relationship. So our warm-up today is just to fill in the table with how much sugar and flour are needed for this recipe. So I know I'm going to be using arrows to try and figure out how to get from one place to another. So if I want to get from 1 to 1 3/4, I'm going to multiply by 1 3/4 or 1.75. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So 1/2 is also 0.5. I know that because I can divide 1 divided by 2. So 0.5 times 1.75, and I get 0.875. All right, I'm going to switch colors. So I want to go from 1 to 2.5, so that could be 2.5. So I'm going to multiply by 2.5. So in my calculator, I'm doing 0.5 times 2.5, and I get 1.25. I'm going to switch colors again. So now I'm going to go from 1 to 3/4. So that would be dividing by 0.75. But I don't necessarily want to do that because I have 2 blanks here. So I'm going to have to try something else. So let's go undo. So if I want to, okay, so I've got to go up somehow. So let's go to here. So I'm going to divide by 1.25. So I'm going to divide this side by 1.25. So 2.5 divided by 1.25. And I get 2. So now I can go the rest of the way. So I'm going to divide by 0.75. So I'm going to divide 2 by 0.75. That still didn't work, so let me try again. So I know that this is 2. So let's just go straight on. So 1 times 2 is 2. So I'm going to do 0.75 times 2. And I get 1.5. So the proportional relationship is 1/2 or 2. So that's what you should have gotten for all of your answers. All right, so 2 students are solving the same problem. At a hardware store, they can cut a length of rope off of a big roll so that you can find any length that you like. The cost for 6 feet of rope is $7.50. How much would you pay for 50 feet of rope at that rate? So Kieran solved the problem this way. He divided by 6, and then he multiplied by 50. So I'm going to multiply 1.25 times 50. And I get 62.5, so $62.50. So I did 1.25 times 50, and I got $62.50. Kieran wants to know if there's a more efficient way to solve the problem. Priya says that she can solve the problem with only 2 rows. Okay, so let's see what she has to do. So I'm going to try and figure out how to get from 6 to 50. That's my goal. So if I go backwards, if I go 50 divided by 6, I know I'm going to get a factor that's going to work. So 50 divided by 6 gives me 8.333. So I know if I multiply by 8.3 repeating, that's going to work. So I'm going to multiply this side by 8.3 repeating. So 750 times 8.3, and I'm going to put that in as many times as it'll go in my calculator, and I get $62.50. So what do you think Priya's method is? She uses division to find the missing factor. So what I mean by that is that's my missing factor, so I use division to figure it out. Practice problem 1. It takes an ant farm 3 days to consume half of an apple. At this rate, how many days will it take the ant farm to consume 3 apples? Okay, so I'm going to start with days and apples. So I know 3 days for half of an apple. I want to consume 3 apples. So I have to figure out, okay, how did I get from 1/2 to 3? So I'm going to use division. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 1/2, or 3 divided by 0.5. And I get 6. So if I go that way to divide, I'm going to come, I'll switch colors. I can multiply by 6 to go the opposite way. So I get 18. So 18 days would be my answer. It takes, to make a shade of paint called Jasper Green, mix 4 quarts of green paint with 2/3 cups of black paint. How much green paint should be mixed with 4 cups of black paint to, that shouldn't say amen, to mix Jasper Green? So I know I have green, and I know I have black. My original ratio is 4 quarts of green for 2/3 cups of black. And they're saying if I want to mix, and this is cups, and this is quarts. So they're saying 4 cups of black paint. So again, if I want to work backwards, I'm going to do 4 divided by 2/3. So that would also be 0.6 repeating. So 4 divided by 0.6 over and over and over again until I can get it in my calculator, and I get 6. So to go the opposite way, I'm going to use multiplication. So 4 times 6 is going to give me 24 quarts of green. All right, your cool down today is asking you about walnuts. So it says it costs $3.45 to buy 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts. So remember, 3 divided by 4. That line tells you to divide. So I have my cost and I have my pounds. So $3.45 and then 0.75, because 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. They want to know how much would it cost for 7.5 pounds of walnuts. So you need to figure out what your factor is and then do the same thing on both sides. If you need help, you need to go to Khan Academy and try out those practice links. Mr. Morgan has a great help video. You can email a study buddy from your class, or you can set up an appointment for me and we'll go through it. Have a great rest of your day.